Hey, this is Lino coming back with another video just to talk about some of the topics going on in the NBA, some of the trades, and other things going on. So first, I want to talk about the Eastern and Western Conference. So I want to start off with the East by talking about the Pistons first, because they were the number one seed this last season. I think it really depends on whatever they do with Jalen Duren, whether they pay him, which I don't think they will, because he didn't show up in the playoffs at all. I don't think he showed flashes that he can be better, which is unfortunate because he won't get paid. But if they do trade him, they will have to trade him for probably a second option, scoring option. And if they do trade him, they're going to lose a good rebounder, which they'll probably have to go look for that as well. Next up, talk about the Knicks. I'm not sure if they can do it again. I don't know if they can make it to the finals again. I feel like they got there because a lot of players that they ran into just didn't play well, like James Harden. Plus the 76ers weren't good. Joel Embiid wasn't healthy yet again. And trading Mitchell Robinson I don't think it was a good idea. I think they should have tried to keep him, but I don't know about all the little things with the contracts and stuff when it comes to that. And keeping him in the same conference may hurt them in the long run. Sending him to the Celtics probably may not be a good idea, but it happened. And I don't know. The Celtics probably will be the favorite to make it out the East with a healthy Jason Tatum. They're expecting Peyton Pritchard to step up, make a big leap this year. So it's going to be really exciting in the East. Now that Jaylen Brown is gone, I do think that Jason Tatum probably does like being the guy on the team a lot more, just because he is a Kobe guy. All those Kobe guys, they love just being like the number one option and the only number one option, like Devin Booker, Kyrie Irving, like those guys who love Kobe, they love being the number one option. And even though they don't have Jaylen Brown, I do think they'll still do pretty well. Like they could probably still make it to the finals without him. Now with Jaylen Brown going to the 76ers, I think they'll be good, but I'm just not sure how it'll work with Joel Embiid, because whenever Joel Embiid plays, he has to be the number one option. And he kind of just kills pace because he's so slow. And he doesn't really play defense all too well because his past injuries slowed him down a lot. But I don't know. They don't really have like a lot of depth either anymore. And I also don't think that all those players will stay. I mean, if you look at the history of the 76ers, a lot of good players that they have never retired there or stay long. So Tyrese Maxey wouldn't surprisingly leave. VJ Edgecombe probably will leave in a couple years. I think Joel Embiid probably be the first one in a while that they had will retire a 76er. Now for the other teams like Toronto, Orlando, the Hawks, I don't think Cleveland will do anything. I think they'll probably be a contender. I don't think that they will be a contender. I think they'll just be really good and just fold in the playoffs again. Well, unless they get LeBron. But I think that the Toronto Raptors, Orlando, Hawks, they'll probably just be like inconvenient teams. Like your favorite team runs into them and it just messes up your favorite team's placement, seeding. And lastly, for the Heat, I think that the Giannis trade was good, but it was just so many other better moves after that it doesn't really matter. They still need shooters. They have him, but they really, really need shooters and better guards. Now, when it comes to the West, I'm just going to talk about the teams that I think are good. Talk about the Lakers too and what they're doing with Luka Doncic. Well, I'll start there with the Lakers. That team and those guys that they have around Luka, it's just mid. I feel like the Lakers kind of like doing the same thing that they did with Kobe a couple of times when they had like it's a bunch of like mid players around them. I remember they had like that one player that like threw the half court shot backwards at the end of like the shot clock or something like that. That was crazy. But yeah, I don't think this team is good enough to play with Luka at all. Now, one team that in the West that I'm not too sure about is the Timberwolves. I think that adding LaMelo obviously was a really good pickup. But they did lose Naz Reid, Julius Randle. I know he didn't play good in the playoffs, but in the regular season he was, holding it down for Ant when he was injured and out. I think they were kind of relying on Jaden McDaniels to be consistent. They have to stay healthy. Now on to the teams in the West that I think will be the best teams again, most likely. And that's OKC, the Spurs, Denver, and Houston. With Houston, I'm just not, I never bought the whole only thing they needed last season was Fred VanVleet. I think that team had a lot more other problems that was really glaring in the playoffs and toward the end of the season. And I know they picked up Marcus Smart and Bogdan, but I feel like every team this summer just picked up the same two players, defensive guard and a guy that can shoot. I feel like every team did that. Now with OKC, I feel like they just have to stay healthy. They just traded Isaiah Joe, so pretty sure they're kind of being sold that McCain and AJ Mitchell can really help them in the future. I'm just hoping that J-Dub can have a healthy season. I think he hasn't had a healthy season in like 2 years. And obviously Chet has to get way, way better. Speaking of Chet, talk about the Spurs. I think the Spurs are good. I think they just need more time. Need to mature a little bit more. I think the Fox thing may have been an overreaction, but only that will tell in the future. Now, last in the West, I want to talk about Denver. I think Denver was probably like the most disappointing out of all the top teams in the West. I don't know. I just feel like Jokic didn't play as good as he possibly could have last season. I think Jamal Murray was a lot better. I think he was more consistent last season. But just like OKC, they have to stay healthy. I like the Trayvon Brazile pickup. I think he's a sleeper in the draft. But a lot of these teams just bank on health. Okay, just to finish it off, it's one situation that's going around, one topic that's going around that I want to talk about is Ben Simmons making a return. We're trying to make a return. I see that a lot of people don't really like it. A lot of people are saying that he should stick to fishing, saying that he had his chance. But I don't really see why people would say that. I mean, I think the only thing with his game is that he's just not a scorer. He can do everything else really well. But I think he just gets in his head too much, and that's why he's at where he's at, not in the league. Because he probably just thinks too much, but he's still a 6'10" playmaker, defender, rebounder. He still can pass. He just can't score. The scoring isn't an issue to me because there are lots of players in the NBA who cannot score and still play, still get paid. Like a Jared Vanderbilt. I think he can do Jared Vanderbilt's job better than he can. And probably do a little bit more. Plenty of teams that I think could use him. There are already so many scorers in the league. Why not have him? All right, that's all I have for today in this video. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you guys think about your team, about some trades that you like or didn't like. That's all. Thank you.